You know the ritual. Alarm set for 10 a.m. sharp. 2 browser tabs open. The waiting room, thousands of people ahead of you. 10:02, sold out. All of it. Gone in under 2 minutes. So you open StubHub, and there they are, hundreds of tickets. Same show, same seats. Triple the price. You always assumed you just lost the race. Some kid with faster Wi-Fi took your seat. But what if that is not what happened? What if the queue was never the real competition? Because right now, StubHub is being sued by its own customers. This spring, it agreed to refund $10 million in fees after federal regulators called its pricing deceptive. A federal jury just ruled the biggest company in live music a monopoly that overcharges fans. And now a news investigation says the man who runs StubHub, the chief executive himself, has a side business. A hedge fund that scalps tickets. On his own website. Read that again. The referee is accused of betting on the game. So how does the friendly fan-to-fan marketplace actually work? And what does it mean the next time you try to see a show? Here is the short version. You thought you were bidding against other fans. You were bidding against the house. And the house has a name. We will get there. On the surface, StubHub is a beautiful idea. Someone bought tickets and cannot go. You want to go. The website introduces you, takes a small cut for the service, and everybody wins. A digital bulletin board. Harmless. That is the brochure. Now follow the money. Start with that phrase. Fan to fan. It suggests the seller is someone like you, a person with 2 tickets and a scheduling conflict. That is mostly not who is selling. According to industry reporting, somewhere between 70 and 80% of tickets on the big resale platforms come from professional resellers. Not fans. Full-time operations. Software. Bots. Bulk inventory. So picture the marketplace, honestly. It is not a bulletin board. It is a warehouse. A warehouse wearing a fan mask. And here's the quiet part. The platform gets paid twice. The seller pays a fee. You pay a fee. Both fees grow with the price. So every time a ticket gets marked up, the house earns more. Think of a casino that takes a cut of every bet. Fine. Normal. But now imagine the casino also secretly owns the biggest gambler at the table. Hold that thought. We are coming back to it. And yes, I know. You never actually type a bid on StubHub. It does not feel like an auction. But when the ticket you are staring at gets relisted higher while you hesitate, and the fees grow with every markup, you are in an auction. You just cannot see who you are really up against. First, though, the fees. You know the move. The ticket says one price. You click. Service fee. Fulfillment fee. Suddenly, the checkout number is a lot bigger than the shelf number. Regulators noticed. This spring, StubHub agreed to refund $10 million in fees to settle federal charges of deceptive pricing. $10 million. Just for how it showed you the price. But it gets worse. Because sometimes, you pay the marked up price, plus the fees on top, and then the ticket simply evaporates. During the World Cup, thousands of fans reported last-minute cancellations of resale tickets. Some had already paid for flights and hotels. Paid. Confirmed. Locked out anyway. Regulators are now looking at that too. So, furious customers. A $10 million refund. Vanishing tickets. That is bad. But none of it is why the story exploded this month. The reason is one man. The man behind the window. If you want to know who is really on the other side of your bid, subscribe now. Because this next part is the part they would much rather you did not see. Meet Eric Baker. He did not just join StubHub, he co-founded it more than 20 years ago. By most accounts, he was pushed out before it was sold. So he built a rival ticket empire in Europe. And then, years later, he came back and bought StubHub for more than $4 billion. He signed the deal just before a pandemic shut down every concert on Earth. He held on anyway. The man built the house, lost the house, and bet a fortune to get the house back. StubHub is not just his company, it is his life's work, which makes what happened next genuinely hard to believe. In July, investigative reporters at CBC News went digging through official securities filings, the paperwork companies are required to hand to regulators. And inside StubHub's own documents, they say they found something strange. A hedge fund called Andro Capital. According to the investigation, that fund buys tickets in bulk and resells them at a markup on StubHub. Millions of dollars worth of tickets. Not a hobby, an operation. In plain English, what any fan would call a professional scalping operation. And who owns and manages this fund? According to those same filings, Eric Baker, the chief executive of StubHub. Stop and picture it. The man at the ticket window, smiling, sliding your ticket across the counter. And behind his back, in the other hand, a fat stack of tickets he is reselling at a markup. Same man, same window, two hands. You did not lose the queue to a kid with faster Wi-Fi. According to this investigation, some of the tickets you are bidding on belong to the man who owns the queue. Still with me? Because it gets stranger. The filings reportedly show StubHub was not just hosting the boss's fund. The company paid Andro Capital fees and covered its ticket management costs. Read that carefully. The platform, allegedly, was helping fund its own CEO's scalping operation. And the fund did not work alone. According to the reporting, Andro has an affiliate called Colloquy Capital. Its role, per the documents, includes short-term financing and referrals for other large-scale professional ticket resellers. Follow that chain slowly. The CEO's fund scalps tickets on his own platform, and an affiliated company helps bankroll other scalpers, the very people fans blame for ruining ticket sales, allegedly financed from inside the house. 4 days after the investigation published, the lawyers arrived. A ticket buyer named Luis Anquini filed a class action in federal court in New York. The lawsuit accuses StubHub of deceptive practices. It says the company sold itself as a neutral marketplace for fans while hiding its ties to professional resellers. He says he would never have bought his tickets if he had known. It asks for $5 million for him and everyone like him. Now, StubHub does have a defense. The company says it does not own, possess, or sell tickets itself. And it says Baker's stake in the fund was fully disclosed. Where? In its public SEC filings. Sit with that answer for a second. It was disclosed. In the filings. Documents written for regulators and investors. Did you read them before you bought your last ticket? Neither did anyone else. And that gap, says the lawsuit, is exactly the problem. A disclosure buried in financial paperwork is not a sign on the ticket window. Let me be crystal clear about where this stands. These are allegations, a news investigation and a lawsuit. Nothing has been proven in court. No regulator has ruled on any of it. StubHub denies wrongdoing and says everything was disclosed. The courts will decide who is right. But you should know this is not happening in a vacuum, because the entire ticket pipeline is having its receipts pulled right now. That jury verdict from the start of this video? It branded the company behind Ticketmaster a monopoly that overcharged fans. State attorneys general are pushing to break it up. So the front door of ticketing was just ruled a ripoff, and the back door, resale, now stands accused of being run by the scalpers themselves. Front door, back door. Either way, say the lawsuits, the house wins. And the house is never you. Now hold on, let me argue the other side for a second. Is resale itself a scam? No. A real fan selling a real spare ticket is the system working. Even the professionals have a defense. They carry risk. If they buy wrong, they eat the loss. That is the free market story, and it is not crazy. But notice what that story requires: a neutral field. And the whole point of the lawsuit is that the field, allegedly, wasn't neutral. If the referee is also a player, that isn't a market. That is a show about a market. That, not resale itself, is the accusation on the table. So what do you do with this? 4 things before you buy another resale ticket. 1. Check the official source first. Venues and artists release held-back tickets as the date gets closer. More often than you would think, face value seats are sitting there while the resale sites charge triple. 2. Ignore the shelf price. It is bait. The only number that exists is the checkout total after every fee has crawled out of hiding. Compare total to total. Nothing else. 3. Screenshot everything: the listing, the seats, the final price. If your ticket gets canceled or swapped, that paper trail is your leverage. 4. Treat the countdown timers and the only 2 left warnings as theater. The one thing a reseller fears is a buyer who walks away. Resale prices often drop as showtime approaches because their inventory becomes worthless at 8:01. Patience is leverage, because that is the real trick here. The queue, the timer, the sold-out banner. All of it is built to make you feel like you lost a race against other fans. But if the allegations are true, the race was staged. You were never just a customer in a line. You were the demand. Farmed, priced, and sold to. Now at least you can see the window for what it is. So tell me in the comments, what is the worst ticket fee you have ever paid? Shelf price versus checkout price. I read every single one. And if this made you look sideways at every marketplace that swears it is on your side, good. Subscribe. Because StubHub is not the only company whose favorite customer is not you. I follow the money into the places that are counting on you not to look. Rigged? Now you know who against.